Alrighty, folks, we got a new album review for you today. And today is Cirith Ungol live at the Roxy. 2 CD set. Before I get into this too deeply, I'll try and keep this story brief because the album review is actually going to be very brief. I heard about Cirith Ungol probably in 1985, not from anybody, thumbing through records. I saw King of the Dead. It's probably around 1985. Thought it looked really cool. Wanted to buy it, but did not ever buy it because it was in the import section, which meant that it was a couple of dollars more than what a regular album was. And I knew nobody who listened to Cirith Ungol. I knew absolutely nothing about Cirith Ungol. I knew the name Cirith Ungol because as a younger lad, I had read Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and played Dungeons and Dragons. So I knew about all that, but I didn't know anything about the band. So then in '86, they released One Foot in Hell. And the album cover art for that one actually turned me off from wanting to get it. Now, I didn't know anything about Elric. I still really don't know anything about Elric, but I didn't know anything about that story. So I didn't know that the artwork was all taken from those stories. I just saw One Foot in Hell, and I saw that giant bug sitting on the throne, and I thought, that looks like new Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Even though I hadn't been playing Dungeons and Dragons for years, it just reminded me of how back then I thought how Dungeons and Dragons was getting cheesy by creating all these new monsters that didn't have any tie-in to real mythology and all that stuff. And these were the types of decisions that we made off of album art and stuff like that because we didn't have a ton of money to spend. You were lucky if you could get an album every 6 months. That's what you were shooting for. I mean, albums would probably cost about $8, close to $9 with tax. You give them $5 a week for allowance, you barely got enough to buy an album and play one video game in 2 weeks. So you had to save for your albums. And stuff like crappy album art could easily put a band on the back burner. And so yeah, I saw the album art for One Foot in Hell, and I decided that I didn't want to listen to. I was going to move on from Cirith Ungol. It looked like they were selling out to me, even though I didn't know anything about them. But these are the crazy decisions that have to be made when you have no internet and don't know anybody who listens to the band. So, and of course they released Paradise Lost 5 years later in 1991, and then they disappeared forever. I don't even think I knew that Paradise Lost came out. If I did ever see it in a record store, I just glossed over it. And then we come all the way around to 2020, and Brian Slagle is on Sea of Tranquility, and they are doing a Cirith Ungol album ranking. And by this time I was, looking to get into these older bands that I had missed the first time around, mainly due to financial reasons. So I was like, let me see what these guys say. They'll give me an album to listen to, and I'll head in that direction and see if I like them or not. So I remember, I think they both picked King of the Dead as their favorite album. I remember Slagle saying that, if you listen, if you've never listened to Cirith Ungol, go listen to Finger of Scorn, and, if you don't like that song, then Cirith Ungol's not for you. So I went and listened to the song, and I mean, I wasn't blown away by it, but I was intrigued by it. I will say that in 1985 or 86, if I had bought King of the Dead or One Foot in Hell back then, I probably wouldn't have not liked it, because I was very picky about vocals back then, and I probably would not have liked Tim Baker's vocals at all. So it's probably a good thing that I didn't pick up that album back then. So I heard that, I listened to that song, it intrigued me enough. I went and bought King of the Dead. I liked it. Of course, Adam Smasher, Master of the Pit. It made me go buy Frost and Fire. Now, Frost and Fire, if you haven't heard it, it still has some holdover from their earlier days when they were very eclectic. They had a lot of metal going on in their sound, but they also had some other stuff going on in there. They weren't really 100% honed in and focused on the metal sound. So Frost and Fire, half of it's great, half of it's kind of hit and miss. So I thought, yeah, no, that's good enough for me. I don't think I need anything else. And then I think I was trying to capitalize on some shipping, and this dude had a copy of One Foot in Hell for sale, and so I was like, yeah, it's not, it's got to be at least as good as Frost and Fire, which is good, so I might as well check it out. I was blown away. I love One Foot in Hell. Like I said, I don't think I would have liked it back in the day, but that sent me on my Cirith Ungol craze. I started buying up everything from them that I could get, all the demos and singles and all their albums. Dark Parade, which came out in 2023. Well, they had Forever Black in 2020. I don't know if, I think they may have ranked that album. I think that's kind of why they were doing the ranking, because Cirith Ungol was, back after, what is it? Man, almost 30 years. So I think they did rank that album. I eventually got around to getting that one. And of course I got Dark Parade. I love Dark Parade. I think I may have had that as my in my top 3 for 2023. And so that's where this album comes in. This was the release party for Dark Parade, recorded October 20th, 2023, Hollywood, California, live at the Roxy, of course. Let me grab the little booklet here. I hope I got enough light in here. This thing's kind of dark. Too dark for me to read. There you go. Robert Garven on drums, who does an amazing job on this album. Greg Lindstrom, who always does an amazing job. You got Jarvis Leatherby from Night Demon on bass and backing vocals. He's also like their executive producer and manager. And Armand John Anthony, Armand John Anthony on second guitar. I don't know much about him, but it does mention him in here. There's a great band shot. Of course, Tim Baker, I skipped over him. Let me read this right here, so I don't leave Armand out. Oh, I can't read it. Never mind. It's too dark in here. But anyway, I think he was responsible for the design of the album. If I didn't show the back. So the reason this review is going to be short is because this album's killer. I mean, it sounds amazing. Now, at the end of 2024, they said that they were going to no longer tour. Now, I know that they just did 5 dates in South America in March. So maybe they just meant they weren't just going to be doing any long tours. They'd just be doing short legs, because 3 months is kind of quick to change your mind on saying you're not ever going to tour again. I can't remember if they said that they weren't ever going to make any more albums again. Maybe I'm confusing that with the touring news. But yeah, they did play 5 dates in South America. I guess let me give you a little more information on this instead of just saying it's awesome. Since it was the album release party for Dark Parade, the entire first CD is them playing the new album in its entirety. And I mean, it's killer. I mean, Velocity SEP is such an awesome way to open up an album. And then the second CD, you get all the classics. You got 5 tracks from King of the Dead. You got 2 tracks from Frost and Fire. You got 2 tracks from One Foot in Hell. You get 2 tracks from Paradise Lost, one being the Fire cover by Arthur Brown. Excuse me. And then you get 1 track from Forever Black. 20 tracks in total. They all sound great. I mean, the band is on fire. The production's excellent. It's well mixed. The crowd may be a little too far back, but not really. I mean, that's nitpicking. Besides Velocity SCP, of course, Atom Smasher is great. Master of the Pit's great. I'm Alive is great. The cover of Fire is great. Join the Legion's great. I mean, it's all great, but I mean, those are some really standout tracks on there. And this one does have the DVD on it. I believe there's a Blu-ray one. Don't hold me to that. I'm not 100% positive. I may be confusing that with another recent release. But yeah, this one is easily 9 out of 10. I may be lowballing it because it's new and I don't want to be caught up in the moment. But it's easily 9 out of 10, if not stronger. So if you're a Cirith Ungol fan, I would seriously suggest getting this one. Cirith Ungol live at the Roxy, 9 out of 10. You guys have a good one.